Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abraham Cambridge, founder of the Sun Exchange. I'm going to explain to you today how we can upgrade both the financial and the energy systems in one fell swoop. A little bit about me. My academic background is in climate change science. I did a master's degree in the science of climate change back in 2007, and then started looking at solar energy systems as a way, it's their way forward. It's our pathway to a clean energy future, to transition away from fossil fuels. Solar energy is it. And in 2014, I set up the Sun Exchange, a platform that combines both crypto and solar with the intention of creating a solar-powered financial system that streams monetized sunshine around the world 24/7, 365 in Bitcoin. Does anyone I'm sure we're actually all very familiar with the story and the background of the Bitcoin blockchains. Satoshi Nakamoto embedded in the Genesis block, the first ever block laid down in this technological monument that we've created, was this extract from the Times on the 3rd of January 2009 that reads, "Chancellor Alistair Darling on brink of second bailout for banks." Now that was left there as a very deliberate message and a reminder of what this is all about. It's creating a new, fair, distributed, democratic financial system that cannot be manipulated by governments, that it cannot be corrupted or is corrupt. Now, does anyone recognize this image? Okay, this is not a scene from James Cameron's Avatar. This is in fact a militarized police presence escorting bulldozers and construction teams to construct a crude oil pipeline across sacred burial lands in North Dakota last year. This is a pipeline which transports 500,000 barrels of crude oil, which in itself was sourced from hydraulic fracturing, which is an environmental catastrophe. It was built through sacred burial lands, and the people who occupy this land were very upset about this across the Missouri River, potentially polluting drinking water for millions of people. And lo and behold, the people who were trying to prevent this pipeline were assaulted with rubber weapons, tear gas, and had cold water sprayed on them in the mid of winter. Dozens of people were hospitalized for hypothermia. So we have to ask ourselves, who is behind this? Well, if you follow the money, it's guys like this. The exact organizations that Bitcoin was set up to try and improve and disrupt are the same organizations that have lent, this bank and 16 others lent $3.8 billion to build that pipeline. So by God, they're going to get their pipeline, by hook or by crook. Okay. Now, bear in mind, okay, just for a minute, that this bank was bailed out by the public for £42 billion in 2009. A year later, paid themselves management bonuses of £1 billion, whilst reporting losses of £1.1 billion. And this kind of organization is the kind of organization that is financing fossil fuels, which we know to be causing ecocide on this planet. So you know what? I think it's time for a rebrand. Okay. So we can now probably look at the 20th century and think, what actually defines the 20th century? Well, I think the 20th century is probably now going to be defined by centralized financial systems and centralized fossil fuel delivery and fossil fuel extraction. So we propose that the 21st century should be defined by decentralized financial systems and decentralized clean energy systems with decentralized ownership of those energy systems. Now here's some really great news. It's now possible to generate electricity directly from the sun more efficiently and cheaper than through burning fossil fuels when those solar panels are optimally located. We're now able to transition away from fossil fuels, where it's faster and cleaner, and move to a solid-state, silicon-based economy. Now, the elephant in the room is probably Bitcoin, proof of work protocol demands a huge amount of energy. A huge amount of energy. I mean, the Bitcoin blockchain right now has got the equivalent energy demand of the island of Manhattan. Now, if this energy is being used, wouldn't it be a travesty if we did not put this work to good use and unlock that value of Bitcoin to really change the world, transition us away and build a new energy system? Wouldn't that be awesome? So what does that look like? Well, first of all, think about what Bitcoin mining is. It's a silicon chip, uses electricity, and produces money. Now, what happens when you use that money to finance silicon chips that produce electricity that can be sold for money? Now, that is a positive feedback loop, and that is the basis for an entirely new economic paradigm silicon-based clean energy systems with positive feedback loops to create economies of abundance. And okay, so the amount of energy it takes to mine a Bitcoin is quite considerable. 111 megawatt hours per Bitcoin currently to mine one Bitcoin. But if you use that Bitcoin to finance solar power systems, you can finance 10 kilowatts of solar power right now at today's Bitcoin price at $7,000. And once you've financed a solar plant, you generate 400 megawatt hours of electricity from the 100 megawatt hours you put in to mine that Bitcoin in the first place. So you actually have a positive energy balance, and that's the basis for this. Now, solar energy is an interesting phenomenon. I mean, it's that with crypto is probably the greatest technological advancements of this century, as I've just alluded to. But the problem with solar is that most people can't even access it. Now, here's some pictures of apartment blocks in Glasgow. I just picked this image because they look particularly grimy. But the point is that most people that would be able to go solar, they can't afford it, they don't own their own building, and they certainly don't have a roof, and they've got shitty weather to put up with. So the point with Sun Exchange, and what we actually do, and I'll just put it on the next slide, the Sun Exchange is a marketplace where anybody in the world can purchase a solar panel and then lease it to commercial and industrial solar projects in optimal and sunny locations on Earth. The users of those solar panels get to access solar energy at no upfront cost and lower their energy costs. And what do we mean by optimal places? Well, here's a map of the amount of sunlight the Earth receives. The dark red and orange zones are the areas which gets most sunlight, and the areas in green and blue receive the least amount of sunlight. Now look at Germany. Germany's basically green, but has got such considerable amount of solar installed. They were 100% renewable energy powered a month ago. Now look at Africa. It's the sunniest continent on Earth. And look, this map shows the areas of Earth which were electrified. So what happens if we put our solar panels in Africa? You can provide electricity to 650 million consumers that don't yet have access to electricity. You've got a solar panel that's optimally located that produces twice as much electricity that it would do in the UK. So through Sun Exchange, you can buy a single solar cell. It costs less than $10 per cell, making solar ownership available to anybody and everybody on Earth. The Sun Exchange, then through Sun Exchange, you can lease that solar cell to a project of your choice, and from it, earn a Bitcoin income stream. So what we found is people are now using Sun Exchange to secure themselves a passive income stream of Bitcoin sourced from sunlight, but also act as a mechanism through people who are holding a cryptocurrency wealth position, looking to diversify their assets, convert into a real tangible solar panel. And a solar panel produces between 10 and 15% rates of return when it's located. So this is a good diversification strategy. Now, this is our first solar project. This was at the Stellenbosch Waldorf School. It was installed in April 2016. And this is the world's first solar power plant funded from cryptocurrency. It's been running for over 2 years now. There are children in that school that own some of the solar panels on its roof who are now earning Bitcoin for the past 2 years. This is a system we just installed last year for solar powering a tire recycling factory in South Africa, a climate change NGO, elephant wildlife reserves, and this is a microgrid in Kenya. And this microgrid provides electricity to 300 homes, each with homing 8 people. And these people never had electricity before. And these are the kind of systems that decentralized and democratic finance platforms like Sun Exchange can enable to happen. So just a timeline of where Sun Exchange is and where we've come from. So we started in 2014. The first solar project went live in 2016. We've now got 6 operating solar power plants with about 8,500 users on the platform, all earning Bitcoin from the sun. We launched an ICO back in March, and it's a utility token, it's a rewards token. We are moving towards having our own insurance fund, and we are integrating Lightning payment networks onto our system so that we can literally stream the monetized sunshine around the world in real time. And just imagine what that will look like. You're converting photons to electrons to crypto in a constant stream, and that's being spread around the world from African sunshine. And we are going to be tokenizing the solar cells, so there's going to be liquidity as well. So the SunX token is our utility token. It's a rewards token. It gives you discounts and priority access when using the platform. It'll also be used as fuel when trading solar cells on secondary marketplaces. Now, I wasn't going to make an announcement at this presentation, but since you're such a lovely audience and you're still with us, we're going to just give you a teaser of what our security token will look like. This is not, we don't have a date for this release. This is literally just a teaser, and here's a quick video we made for you to show you how it works.
What is a SunX token? Each SunX token is linked to an actual solar cell in a Sun Exchange solar power plant. It could be powering a school, a factory, or a whole community in one of our rural microgrids. For each SunX token purchased, you own the solar cells it represents. Unlike most digital tokens, SunX represents a physical object, so there's a minimum value, and they are tied to an ongoing revenue stream. Sun Exchange is equipping its solar power plants with additional pay-for-use services, such as provision of internet access, water purification, and cryptocurrency mining, all powered by your solar cells. As rental income accumulates, you will gain ownership of more solar cells at no additional cost. This compounding effect will drive continual economic and environmental transformation. The simple act of purchasing SunX in this token sale event will have a ripple effect into the coming decades as whole industries and nations become solar-powered because of your involvement today. This is your chance to own an ever-growing part of the planet's clean energy infrastructure. SunX tokens will be tradable on major cryptocurrency exchanges, so you can cash in the value of your SunX token and solar cells. First participants are rewarded with an up to 40% bonus. That means 40% more tokens to reward you for your early participation. The earlier you join, the higher the bonus. Be part of the future crypto solar-powered world. Join Sun Exchange today.
Okay, so we've built this machine, the blockchain. How are we going to use it? If you're holding crypto, put it to good use, make it work for yourself and for humanity. And if you want to get started, come and meet us booth 36 downstairs, and we can set you up with a Sun Exchange account. Thank you.
All right, Abraham.